Let me relax. um, as you see it by the title of this video, it's about weed and my experience with weed. So, let's take it back to when I first started smoking. I was around high school in, I think, junior or sophomore year. I had a friend who was already smoking by that time, and he had another friend. And let me tell you something. We went. This is like the time before I smoked. So we went to the forest, and they were smoking, and I was like being a little bitch. I was like, yo, no, I can't be near you guys. Like, I don't want to get this shit on me. Like, I was just having like a whole like mental breakdown about like just the fact that they're smoking outside, and I was thinking that was gonna get on my clothes and shit, which dumb teenage brain. But so anyway, we keep hanging out, blah 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 blah. Next time, it's just me and my one friend, and we're smoking in his bathroom. So he had this technique where you like hotbox your bathroom with like the hot steam, and then you turn on the vent as well. And then you smoke. So we're smoking, vibing, chilling, and we go back to the room and whatnot. And his sister comes in, and she's like, are you guys high? And then, like, I have no response. So I'm just sitting there like dying, and we said no, but like she could just tell. So she's like, without me. So yeah, that was a whole funny experience. But yeah, so after that, I continued to smoke with that friend. I smoked with other people, but it wasn't anything serious. It was just a every once in a while kind of thing. So yeah, after senior year, I would say, because like before that, it was like once a month, once every couple weeks, you know. But after senior year, when I graduated, and when you get into college, you know what goes down. So I was chiefing it. I was chiefing it constantly, and it didn't help that I didn't even have a job when I first entered college, so I was getting high off my mom's money. Yeah. So time passes on. I'm still smoking. I get a job, so now I can support my own habit. It gets worse. Um, my grades were all right during this time. Um, but I noticed that they were going down after because I just was not caring about the work. Like I wasn't putting in the quality that I know I could deliver. So yeah, we go on. Some time passes. I'm still smoking. And then about let's say sophomore to freshman to sophomore year of college, I like really started getting down into it where like I would be smoking in my house in my room. I'd put the towel under the doorway, and then have the fan on and everything, smoking outside the window. I used to have a bunch of nice times where I would just sit down and puff out the window, which was nice. Those were some nice times. But as time progressed, I started to become more like not necessarily introspective, but I started just getting way too into my head, where I started feeling a bunch of anxiety. I started feeling a bunch of paranoia. That's the biggest thing for me. Like I am like when I smoke, man, I am one paranoid person. Like it borderlines on schizophrenic levels. Like it gets bad. So yeah, we kept smoking. It was during this time as well that I had a friend who was I regret to this day, but he was down in the dumps, and I never reached out. Like I never reached out, and like anytime him and my other friends would invite me to hang out, I just wouldn't go to hang out because they didn't smoke. And in my head, I needed to I needed to smoke to be able to like hang out and stuff or whatever. And since they didn't smoke, I would feel weird if I smoked and then went to hang out because also smoking gave me bunch of social anxiety, man. Like my entire life, I've always been a very outgoing social person, maybe as you could tell, but how much can you really tell off the camera? But I've always been a very outgoing. I've always had a lot of friends and stuff. So socializing was easy. I even had a job as a cashier at the time, so like, I was just constant social interactions. But the thing about that is, I noticed the decrease in, one, the motivation to even socialize with people, but two, the quality of the socialization. It just wasn't good for me. Um, and yeah, so I didn't hang out with them, and this went on for a couple years where our friendship kind of like died down, which I'm trying to rekindle now, but I just regret that a bunch. And yeah, so after that, I got some friends that I would smoke with consistently, and not all of them, but most of them, I would have not issues per se, but like if we didn't smoke with each other, like it was like, what do we do? It's like, I don't think we were really friends for like the friendship's sake. I think we were just smoking buddies. You've probably experienced that where like there's certain people you hang out with, but you really only get lit, like smoke or drink or party and stuff. But to me, like, hear me out. That's not a problem for everybody, but for me, low battery. Hope that didn't ruin the video. But for me, it was a problem as like I like to get very personal with people. I like to get very introspective. I like to get deep down into the money. But when I was smoking weed, I just with those friends, we didn't really click like that, because our friendship was based off of the drug rather than like us putting in the groundwork of, developing a good, strong friendship. And maybe that was my fault. Maybe that was a lot of my fault, but I don't know. That's just how I perceived it. So some time went by. I even told them constantly, like, oh, I'm trying to quit, trying to quit, trying to quit, trying to go on a break, blah, 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 blah. I made so many false promises, man. So many times I was like, yeah, I'm going to quit, blah, 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 blah. Never ended up quitting because I was weak. I was very weak mentally, and I was weak, like, I mean, physically as well, but shit. Not it. No, let me stop. I was just weak, so I had to I had to go through that period of just like trying to develop myself and trying to get the mental strength in order to quit. Which, looking back, it was much easier than I made it out to be because now I haven't smoked in a while, so um like I know how it is, but I should have before like made it easier where like I stopped hanging out with those friends for a couple times. I mean for a little bit just so I can like adjust the dopamine in my head where like anytime I hang out with people I don't have to like just be like, oh, whenever you gonna smoke, you got some weed on you, man. You got some, man. Like I didn't want to be like that. So yeah, there was a bunch of false promises and whatnot. Eventually though, we kind of drifted apart. Life happens, things happen. So I was given the opportunity to just be by myself, to be alone, to just look inside, and really adjust myself and like work on myself, which, we all do. But this was much needed for me because honestly, like when I was back in school, I was always told I was a very bright kid, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I think that's just ego validation and whatnot, but that was how people perceived me, I guess. Even now, like I went to go hang out with a friend that I hadn't seen in years, and he still referred to me as the smart friend, even though he's smart as himself. Like he's very fucking smart, and he's fucking rich now, so good for him. But he still referred to me as the smart friend, which when I was smoking weed like a whole bunch, I never felt smart. Like, and I'm not talking about like an imposter syndrome kind of thing. I just genuinely felt slow. My recall was bad. In conversations, I get so stumped up. Like I've always had a problem with speech. I used to be in speech therapy, but the weed like really exacerbated it. Where it was to a point where I was just stuttering. Like, oh hell, man, I don't even know how people understood me. Maybe that's just like a mental thing where it wasn't as bad as I thought. But you see, people like me when they're on weed, that shit gets blown up. Like there's a whole population of people who can smoke weed, no fucking problem, zero problems. You'll be very productive, won't lose any motivation. They'll basically just be fine in life. If you are someone with an addictive personality, though, it doesn't work out. You need some moderation and or just like push that shit away. Cause yeah, man. uh I needed to moderate like all hell, man. Um so yeah, what helped me quit was I got time to myself where I wasn't hanging out with the friends who, smoked a bunch. So I had a whole bunch of time to just be by myself and, you know, use distractions. And I don't like using the word distractions, but that's ultimately what I had to do, because if I'm left to my own accord, like my mind just races and races and races, just, it'll, all the thoughts of like, oh, why the fuck aren't you smoking? Like, just a bunch of thoughts like that. So I had a bunch of time to, sorry, I just had some pizza and some steak. So, you know me. Yeah, so I had time to adjust my mental, adjust my physical, just adjust to life and really quit and really just like buckle down and quit, which has helped me a lot. I wake up, I don't wake up feeling groggy as shit anymore. Like I used to wake up, man, like just, like it'd be like that for hours, but now I wake up and I'm just like, after a minute, like I'm ready to go. Like, I mean, I could be ready to go out, like straight out of bed, but like, I tend to like just lay in bed. Like, we all enjoy the bed in the morning. Come on, don't fucking lie to yourself. I'll beat the fuck out of you if you start lying. But yeah, so I'll just like sit there and like relax and like I'm ready to go. Like I'm pumped. And another benefit is my lungs have gotten so much better. Like, Jesus, man. I was already stupid enough to smoke while having asthma. Still have asthma. But like I was stupid enough to do that. But now that I've not, like I'm just starting to see like the progress. I don't gotta pump like every 2 minutes. That's fucking great. Because I always think about it like this. This is how I think about my asthma and such. I'm affecting it with weed. But what happens in like an apocalyptic situation where I can't get access to an asthma pump, Like there's gonna be times where this isn't readily available. What do I do? Like if my lungs were still completely fucked from smoking weed, then like I'm dead. Like the first couple of days, like you'll just see me dead basically because my lungs will close up and shit. So it's just I had to put it in perspective for myself. I don't have as much brain fog, which is cool. I can, think about stuff and I can really just zero in. I feel like the fog has disappeared. Because I feel like when you have brain fog, it really does, like I understand the term brain fog. Like it really clouds everything up. It feels like there's clouds in there. Like I don't know how to describe it, but it just feels all muddy. Right now, I mean, I'm still technically detoxing because it takes like months and months and months. So like my mind right now is like clear water, it feels good, I feel like in zen, which is cool. Another benefit is I'm much more social now. Like I had this period of time where when I would smoke, like I'd just be so laid back and chill. Like I wouldn't really want to put myself out there and such. And as a result, like I was just really quiet. But now, like I'm seeing I'm hanging out with friends more. The enjoyment out of the experiences is much higher than it was before, which is really good. Yeah, man. Like it just social interactions are so much more smooth now. Like I don't feel like I'm not thinking in those moments. Like I'm in a flow state, which is how you should be when you're with friends, I always used to be like that. Now I'm getting back to that, which is cool. Another benefit, I'm trying to think. This is like one of those stream of consciousness type videos, so it's a bit off the cuff. My bad if you can't really follow the points. I'll be better in the next videos. But yeah, so another thing is like this is like an underrated one. Is like my vision has genuinely improved. Years ago, I had to use glasses. I lost them within like a day, so I guess I adjusted my eyes accordingly. But when I was smoking weed, man, like my vision would get so bad where I'm just like I'd have to really focus in on something or whatnot, because it was just like everything was so blurry. But now like things are clear, things are crisp. It's back to HD, 4K. Like shit looks good. Before it wasn't. So that was another thing. I'll talk about one negative because there's not really too many negatives to smoking weed, but one of the negatives I find is like late night, man. I don't know what to do with myself. Like obviously I should go to bed earlier, but because like my brain is like restless at those times, like I'm racing, and then that's when I would like smoke. Night times were like the smoking times, so I'd smoke, go to bed, bam. Oh, another benefit. Dreams. My fucking dreams have come back full fucking force. Like I love, like having my dreams and shit. It's really nice to just explore this other world at night. It's fucking amazing. It's genuinely amazing. Like I mean, some people have like nightmares and shit when they come off of weed, and I think that's a system, like that's from a deeper issue that's not, that has nothing to do with weed. But man, I fucking love dreams. Even if they're like intensely vivid and nightmarish, like I still enjoy them. Like I wake up and I'm like, damn, like that was a movie. It's a movie every night, which is amazing. And another benefit, I'm so much in tune with myself, like I'm in tune with everything, man. I don't know how to describe that, but like I feel my body. I know my body's limits. I can push the limits. I can feel when anything's going wrong, feel when anything's going right. Even with the environment at hand, like I'm so much more aware. The self-awareness came, and then the awareness in general came, because now like instead of just being in a haze and a fog, like I notice so many things, and you kind of just have to experience that one to like really understand. I can't really describe it with words, but yeah, man, like quitting weed for me is like such a good decision. It's not for everybody though. Like I said, many people, they are fine with weed, man. Like they could smoke. Like I have a friend who's super productive, the one who introduced me to weed, super productive. He's always on top of his shit. He's always doing his thing, and he was Mr. Chief. Like he smoked way more than me back in the day, and he was always on top of his shit. So it all depends on like your personality. If you have an addictive personality like myself, then you have to impose your discipline. You have to moderate. And I'm not saying people without addictive personalities don't have to impose their discipline, but they don't have to do it so much, because it's so much easier for them to put it down, And like I'm saying this all right now and it sounds so easy, but like, when you're deep into it, it's not that easy. I mean, you could probably say like, oh, a little bitch or something like that, or, weak or something. But like, man, you just got to experience it to know. And I've experienced both sides, and I like the sober side because I'm just so much fucking clear, man. And it's, again, weed can help people. Weed can help with a bunch of like diseases, can help with glaucoma, can help with like, a bunch of stuff. It's very medicinal. So you have pain in your body, just you can smoke it away. But with that being said, that's why I say weed is a medicine. I don't think personally it should be used as recreationally as often, because a lot of people fuck up their brains and shit. And there's the whole thing of weed won't necessarily kill you or anything, but it'll stop your progress. And I felt that, like, man, I felt that so much, man. But it's about to be 20 minutes, so I'm gonna chop this video. And yeah, I'm gonna just say, bro, be self-aware. Just know where you're going wrong, where you're going right. Make the best choices, and deuces.